Welcome to Live, Let Thrive, a podcast about the Airbnb life, the share economy, and everything in between. Here are your hosts, Micah and Steve.
Hello, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Live, Let Thrive. I am your host, Stevie Stacks, coming at you from Fort Worth, Texas. This, of course, is Live, Let Thrive, your favorite short-term, mid-term, long-term rental podcast in the world. And we have a great show ahead of you today. I hope it's a great show, but we're going to talk about all kinds of fun stuff, starting out with I left y'all last week talking about wanting to install a barn door to create a fourth bedroom in one of the houses that I arbitrage. And as you know, arbitrage, the meaning of arbitrage. If this is your first episode to ever listen to this show, we talk about arbitrage a lot, and it's out there, and everybody kind of knows about it. But if you've been living in Iraq and don't know what arbitrage is, it's when you rent a house, condo, apartment, whatever, furnish it, and then you rent it out, sublease it out to someone else and you make the spread. You make a little money, a little profit off of it. Goodness, I got a tickle in my throat, and I just started. Hopefully this tea will knock it out. So this arbitrage that I have, I mentioned last week that there was a leak in the ceiling in one of the rooms. So we had a guest in there for like over a month, and they kept extending. And then like a day before they left, they said, "Hey, we had to go to a hotel because the leak in the in the middle bedroom got really bad, and the ceiling cracked open and started leaking everywhere, and on the bed, on the floor, everything." And so we figured it was coming from the AC, so we turned off the AC. And of course, we can't stay here without AC. And we were like, "Oh wow, snap! Sorry about that. We'll go ahead and you can shorten your stay and everything. We'll get that addressed immediately." And so long story longer, we went out there and our handyman went out there and took pictures and everything and said, "Wow, this ceiling's been leaking for a while. It's you see it like it turned that orangish brownish color, the whole ceiling, and it started cracking open and it started dripping on the floor." So that was the suspicious thing. The suspicious thing was why didn't they? I mean, that couldn't have all happened in one day. And plus, they went and stayed at a hotel without telling us what was going on at the house. So what we figured is it had been leaking for a while and just spreading and spreading, and they didn't tell us. They just kept extending and extending their stay, so we couldn't get in there to see it either way, right? Because obviously, if we would have noticed some kind of leak from the ceiling, we would have addressed it immediately. And anyways, so we weren't told right away about the leak, and that brings me to the part where we're doing like a claim. We decided to do a claim because it's not the fact that the ceiling, the AC and the ceiling leaked or anything. That's obviously not their fault, but we weren't told immediately so we could address it, and they allowed the situation to get worse and worse, and the leak spread and spread until it was past the point of failure, whatever. The ceiling cracked and it started dripping everywhere and messed up the some floor a little bit and the bed a little bit. And anyways, long story longer again. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and file a claim on that, but that's part of the story I had spoke about, and we decided to do the claim because of the fact that they didn't tell us about this problem that was growing and growing, and it just led to more and more damage. So our handyman ended up going up there in the attic and fixing the leak, of the AC, and also he patched up the roof and everything. I did not report this one to the owners, and the reason being, if you go back to the last episode, are these particular owners have blamed a couple of things that were wrong with the house. They blamed it on us in a way. I even thought of this one. I didn't bring up. There was roots, literal roots growing through the pipes underground, and causing this one particular toilet to back up. Kept backing up when we kept rootering it out and everything, and just kept backing up. But these roots were growing in there. So and these owners that we rent from, they before we were the first renters there. They posted it for rent and everything, and we went and told them what we do and all this stuff. We take care of the house and everything real good. Our sales pitch. And we were the first renters after they bought this house and I guess renovated it a little bit or whatever they did to it. And then they got it ready to be a rental, and we're the first ones. So it was just a few months into this into our lease when that toilet incident kept happening, and finally our handyman opened he picked up the whole toilet, looked in there, and he said, "Man, there's like a tree growing in here." It's crazy. Pulled out all these roots and stuff, and of course that we'll fix, like I said in other episodes, that we'll fix as smaller things, a clogged toilet, you know, anything usually under anything 250 or below, we fix that. Including garbage disposals. Yeah, it's stuff that, smaller things. And but this roots of a tree growing into your piping down below, that's an expensive problem. I've known people to spend, $7,000 plus because they got to dig under the house and get those, cut those roots off and yeah, and repair the piping and all this stuff. It's expensive. And so I know people that have done it. And yeah, of course, so we weren't gonna pay for something like that. Plus, it wasn't our fault. They kept trying to pin it on us. And are people throwing paper towels down there? Are people throwing wipies down there? What's going on? Oh, you need to monitor your guests. And eventually, it turned out, look, this isn't our fault. And of course, they paid for it and fixed it and everything. And other incidents that happened that I've covered on previous shows with this particular owners that they kind of like try to pin it on us. But so this one I didn't even bring up with them. And one of the reasons, of course, an AC leak, that's not our fault. That's but they the fact that it was left to get out of control and spread like that, and then have to repair the whole ceiling and everything. That part, I can't say that it's the owner's fault because, well, it wasn't our fault either because we weren't informed. But plus, a regular tenant, you would think, a good tenant, there's a lot of bad ones, they would inform them right away, and they would be able to fix it right away, and it wouldn't spread to be a big problem. You notice a few drips, hey man, something's going on with your ceiling over here. It's dripping water. You, and a sane person would tell you that right away. Anyways, we weren't informed, so they weren't informed. So I was just like, let me just see what I can do. Let me see how much it's gonna cost. I have a handyman, and he was able to fix it for a reasonable price. Probably I would say double what like I said mentioned earlier, that 250 range. Probably, let's say, double that, a little bit more. And so it wasn't too bad. It was like we took a hit, but it wasn't too crazy. And so that got fixed, and I had been thinking for a while, and this particular house, because it has 3 bedrooms and like an office space with a like an opened office space that has like a entrance to it, but there's no door there or nothing. And I had been thinking for a while, man, I made it a little office, and there's a little futon in there if they want to, someone who wants to sleep there. But I didn't make it like a proper bedroom. And I was thinking, man, barn doors, because it's in the living room. It's right there by the living room is that where you enter the office. And I was like, put some beautiful barn doors there, and so it wouldn't look, out of place like a regular opening door or whatever. Just some nice, barn doors, and then people can use it as a bedroom, or open space, open the barn doors and use it more like an office or whatever, or a chill space. But so I was like, well, while my handyman Pablo's there, I'm gonna see if he could check it out and give me a price for some barn doors. And so he was able to fabricate because he does woodwork and stuff like that. Fabricate the doors for me, and he bought the stuff that you the metal components where the track and all that stuff and whatever all that stuff's called. He bought all that and installation. So he told me, okay, installation, parts, labor, the doors, everything, $1,040, and $1,040. Yeah. And I was like, okay. I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna take a I need to get this. I want to get this. I've been wanting to get it done for a while. And $1,000, and I'm like, I think that would get us a lot of bookings. And we've been fortunate enough to get corporate bookings there and longer stays there. But we've had at times people saying that they were looking for a fourth bedroom, and that makeshift office thing, it was like it's cool to have, but I think a fourth bedroom pays off more than having a designated little office space, in my view. Dealing with the people that are hitting us up for corporate housing because they like I said, a lot of them. And I always say I said a lot of things. The families have two parents and three kids. And so that, I mean, if the kids are a little older, they all want their own room. So two parents can have their own room and then the three kids can have their own. It's perfect, And that's why I thought it would be more beneficial since we're targeting corporate housing, insurance stays, stuff like that. It's more beneficial to have a fourth bedroom. So I went ahead and paid for it. I paid for the barn doors. He was real quick, installed it nicely. Man, we started getting bookings from Airbnb, and I have the price pretty high on that house. I raised the price because of the fourth bedroom, and we just got booking after booking after. It's like it woke up the wire, man. And so it looks really nice. The barn doors look really nice, and and it's just like I said, it's beautiful. He did a great job. He stained these doors himself. I mean, it looks really cool. And I've always wanted barn doors myself. But all that said, so we added value to this house. And here's the thing, because if you're thinking about doing something like that, you're like, man, I'm gonna spend $1,000 to make someone else's house better. I'm just arbitraging the thing. You're kind of right in one way, but in another way, look at it like this. He even told me, hey, if you want these barn doors and the tooling and all that stuff that comes with it, if you ever move out of this house, because he knows that we're renting it, you could take these barn doors with you, and I'll install them somewhere else. And I was like, wow, that's a good that's that's a great idea right there. So I mean, it would just pay for the installation again, but I'll have these really nice barn doors, and I just take them and he'll just patch up the holes that are left from installing them. So look at it like that. You're gonna get to keep these beautiful barn doors and use them for another house, and hopefully you'll find another house that has 3 bedrooms and an office or 4 bedrooms and an office that you can create um, a fourth or fifth bedroom. So I did that. It worked out very well and very happy about that. Um, like I said, we're filing a claim with Airbnb because of we weren't informed about the leak in a timely manner. Um, what else are we gonna talk about today? What do you want to talk about? I have this kind of ongoing saga with one of my houses in and not the best area, my first house that I lived at. And so a lady reached out to me, and I might have mentioned this, but they mentioned they asked if we take vouchers, and I hadn't thought of taking vouchers there at this particular house. And I might have covered this in the previous episode, I don't recall. But I do like the idea of, because it was just not attracting the best tenants, this because the area ain't it's not the best area, like I said. So Section 8 might work out perfect. And if I do, because I have a condo that has Section 8 tenants, been working out really good. government pays on time every time. They pay their little $200 and we're good. And so if I get another good experience from Section 8, then I might look to expanding, dealing with Section 8 housing. Um, in the areas, areas like where my house is. And it's cool. You got to do your due diligence and check people out, just like any other type of renter. But the fact that the government's going to guarantee what is it, 90%, 95% of the rent? I mean that's baller right there. I love that every time. Um, I was gonna say, so I've been selling off my Dallas units as I've been reporting to you guys, and I'm almost totally out of the Dallas ghetto units. Not ghetto units, but just not the best area. They're profitable, but they're not the like I said, they're not the best area. And so we we just want to focus on houses more. And I mean, I could just keep hanging on to them, keep profiting like I do, but I just, if you're there, if you're in Dallas and you're gonna be able to take good care of these and everything, then it's more beneficial for someone that's over there, right? Um, but I'm over here in Fort Worth, as I mentioned on previous shows, so it's a bit of a drive for me, and I just don't want to worry about them no more. So I'm hopping out of Dallas mostly. I have a few condos there that I'm gonna keep. But other than that, that's going well. I went and collected my Ring doorbell cameras that I that I have over there, 'cause those are expensive. And when I was doing that, I was noticing. I mean, because I've been, like I said, I don't get out to Dallas too much, and you gotta. And when you're not going to the units yourself, you kind of lose track of the inventory a little bit as far as, let's say, cameras, because that's been a big thing. That's here's the deal with the Ring doorbell cameras. They, they'll last a few months and then they'll die. And then so the best, let me see, it lasts a few months or they last a few weeks. I don't know. Anyways, they end up dying. So what you want to do is when the cleaner, gets there, and we were on top of this at the beginning, and as is anything else, you kind of lose track of it some. But when the cleaner gets there, you want them to take the Ring doorbell down or take the battery out and charge it while they're cleaning. And a lot of, it started out, we were on top of them. Are y'all doing that? Are you charging? And slowly but surely, we get busy growing a company, and we forget about these little Ring doorbells that just that just die. And the cleaners, they don't have time. They're rushing. They're going there. They're running over there, putting stuff in the laundry, running out because they're doing like 10 cleanings at once. It's hard to find good cleaners. So if there is a good cleaner, trust me, they're going to be pretty busy. And so they don't have a lot of time to install these darn things, and they'll die. And so, but man, if you could, of course, if you can, like with houses, at least you have the opportunity most of the times to wire them directly to the house. So you'll never have to charge them, right? Now, apartments and stuff, you can't do that. Now I've thought of a way to do it because they sell a kit where you can like connect the wires to the back of the Ring doorbell and then run like a long cord inside the house and where it plugs in. So it's actually plugged in and it's staying, it's not going to die. Um, I haven't done that yet because I'm like trying to figure out, do I drill a hole through the wall, run this thing in and run it all the way down to the plug on the inside of the house? And what if the plug's far away? It's just I haven't done that yet. And I would say, of course, it's very important to have a camera monitoring your place. Very important. But I've also seen where it's not that important either, if you know what I mean. Um, because it's just what do you? I mean, sometimes, I mean, in the rare occasion, someone's done something or lied or whatever or snuck in a dog, yes, that helps. But that's few and far between. Most stays, when you learn this business and you learn who to let in, who to not let in, most of the stays are pretty good and they're not troublemakers or trying to sneak in pets and stuff like that. So good to have, yes, good to have. Especially if it's a house or something like that, and you want to prevent a party situation, which we don't really do one night stays on the weekends, and that's just not a big thing of ours. But I mean, it could slip through if we have something priced. If we have something priced at a ridiculous price, like let's say $1,000 a night for a one night weekend stay, and someone might, but we give discounts if they book multiple days. So, but if someone does actually book the undiscounted rate of $1,000 for a night and they throw a party, yeah, that it could happen. But like I said, when I dealing with the inventory of your places is a hassle, the logistics part of it, but you need to get out there, have someone get out there and put eyes on it, do like a Facebook live, Facebook live. Yeah, you can do that too, or you can do a FaceTime or WhatsApp video with that person and just go over everything. And you can do it probably once a month, and have them do the filters while they're there doing these walkthroughs for you. But it's just a good idea to get eyes on the property. If you can do it yourself, great. If you could FaceTime someone that's there, maybe pay them something for their trouble, right? Because it's hard to keep asking these cleaners to do task after task after task. Um, Whereas if you start giving incentives like money, that's a great incentive, then they'll be more likely to complete these tasks for you. Um, Anyways, another interesting thing. Crazy thing, like I was saying a few episodes ago, when everything just decides to go bad at once, it's just nothing you can do. Just sit back and laugh. And another thing that happened just yesterday, my little white Buick Enclave broke down. It just well, I was driving, but it started smoking, all this crazy stuff going on. It wouldn't get past like 40 miles per hour. And so I took it to my dad's mechanic. It's gonna be out of commission till for like a week, right? And I need a car. And so I went ahead and rented a car at this one place. It's like a name I never heard of, but it's over here in Irving, close by. And what I noticed, of course, it's kind of like what I notice hold on, how car dealerships or how rental car dealerships do things. It's a very professional. You're signing a crap load of forms, right? You're showing your ID. You're giving them all your information. You're giving them your insurance because they're asking, do you want, our insurance? Of course, that's a huge upsell for these car places because let's say, like your car is $30 a day, right? They want to sell you insurance that's like $20 a day. So it's like almost doubles the price of the rental car. It's like a huge thing. They push you on that hard and say, if any accident occurs, it's your fault, blah blah blah. You have to pay. If anything, blah blah blah, that's not your fault. You still have to pay. I mean, they try to scare you into buying the damn insurance. And I don't think might have got it once a long time ago, but I don't do that. Once I learned that our insurance kind of covers us, probably not as good as paying for theirs, but our insurance gives coverage or major credit cards when you book with those, they give you coverage for rental cars. So what I noticed is, aside from, usually you get a pretty decent price for a car for a week. You get it around, if you're lucky, you get it around $30 a day, 20 to $30 a day, which is cheap. And then I like to go to Kayak, because it compares all the different prices and it'll give you the totals. The thing is, that's just the total when you're gonna go pick the damn thing up. What they always do, of course, they always try to upsell you the insurance, right? And then they try to upsell you, oh, if you want unlimited miles, it's this. Oh, if you want, kids seats, it's this. And if you want, what else is it? Oh, toll roads. They're huge. I mean, they you can get buy unlimited tolls or buy whatever the how much in tolls, and then you don't have to worry about going through toll roads because you already paid for that service at that add-on. Now, if you don't, here's the thing: they always punish you hard if you don't choose one of their things. And I don't know if I want to learn from that kind of high pressured upsell, but they do, man. They'll come at you like, yeah, if you pay for this, $25 or $50, whatever it is, if for a toll add-on thing, then you won't get charged a fee if you go through tolls. I mean, I think you can go to you still have to pay for the tolls when you go through them, but to be able to use tolls without being punished, you have to pay a fee. And you choose not to. They always say like if you choose not to, then you go through a toll, you're gonna have to pay $100 each time you go through the toll, plus what the amount of the toll is. And it's like, man, they high pressure sell you. Plus they try to ream you hard if you choose not to get one of their things. And so I was thinking because I had looked up, because when my car broke down and took it to the shop, said it's gonna be that, or my dad's friend, they said it's gonna be not ready for like 6 days, but when the part comes in, and I even I was looking at the car, I always rent from probably the major companies, Hearst's, Budget, whatever, but what I went ahead, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna look at Turo. I want to see what they got on there. And man, the cars on the Turo were expensive. It was like double the price of the cars that are on the regular sites. Now, you might save something in fees. And here's what I'm thinking. These Turo cars, they price them high for some reason, even though they're the same exact kind of car that are on these big sites. But I think they have to do that because Turo takes a big chunk of their money, and also they have to pay for like expensive insurance to keep a car on Turo, and it's like they don't. I was just thinking of what do the corporations do, and how do they make something profitable that hardly anybody can profit from. And I'll say renting your car out on Turo is not very profitable. We had a Turo guy on here, and he explained to us how it could be profitable if you have the right type of car. You can't just go get a Geo Metro flashback, throwback to an old car. You can't just get a piece of junk and throw it on there and think you're gonna do good. And he said the pitfalls are if someone crashes your car or wrecks your car, totals it, you better hope you have the right insurance in place because if your car gets totaled, your insurance is going to give you what the car's worth at that moment. They're not going to give you what you bought it for. They say you bought it for $50,000, but it's only worth 30 at that moment. They'll total it out, give you a check for $30,000. And if you finance that car, you're still on the hook for $20,000 that you didn't even that you don't even have a car for that $30,000, which sucks. But what I noticed is it's very difficult to make money in the car rental business. So these upsells aren't just like extra money for these companies, man. It's the lifeblood, and they know that. That's why they get these employees to push these upsells on you, and they charge you for a car seat or a booster seat and whatever. And it's instead of giving that to you for free because it's another stream of revenue. Every car seat they're in, and check it out. You're gonna fly to another city. A lot of times it's a hassle to carry those things, right? So they're providing convenience for you, but for a fee, of course. And so they've gotten so good at it. They have, I mean, any fee you could think of, they can add it on there. from big fees to small fees. And a lot of us operators, we don't do that. And it's just it's a logistical headache. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot that do. I mean, there's some that do, but I remember looking at Sean Rasicic's videos back in the day, and he's talking about selling these popcorn things to people that are renting your Airbnb. It's one of those boxes of popcorn that's empty, but has plastic at the bottom, so you pop it in the microwave, whatever, and then you put like a couple sodas in that thing, and you put some candy bars or whatever, and make it look nice. And it's a little Netflix and chill night. You got you got the popcorn and the snacks and a couple of sodas. And I think back then he was selling them for like $20 or $25, and he'll leave them there at the place. Well, see, that's the thing. I didn't get how he did it logistically. I was thinking of how we pondered doing something like that back in the day, but it was like, okay, where do we put these things? And what if they do want one of these, or they get there, hey, we want one of those movie package things. Well, they're in the locked closet, right? Uh, we don't want to give guests access to the supply closet because, people are people. But um, so I lost my train of thought. I cut coffee out of my diet, man. I'm drinking tea, of course. I've cut coffee, and I have my moments where I just kind of blank. But I feel more even keel. Um, Going back to upsells. So these popcorn things, we thought about doing something like that. You can't sell champagne, you can't sell beer, you can't sell wine because you need a liquor license for that. So that's out of the question. As far as selling sodas and stuff like that, we thought about doing something like that. We're like, well, how much money can we make? Someone's gonna buy a couple sodas from us on their stay. $2. They made, but we still gotta, inventory those, make sure the cleaner brings more sodas to fill that thing up, our little soda area, whatever. And make sure that and one of those popcorn things, we said, well, there's like a shelf in the kitchen. We can have like several of those lined up. And if someone just grabs one and uses one, we'll know because the cleaner's going to tell us that someone used one of the things and didn't pay for it. But all that said, like I said, it's hard to get cleaners to do extra stuff, and I understand because they're so busy. But if we're talking about doing add-ons and upsells as far as like, popcorn packages or whatever else, man, that you want to sell at your place. 'Cause, I mean, we've had all kinds of ideas. It just adds to the logistics that the logistical nightmare that an Airbnb could be. Making sure you got enough toilet paper and toiletries and stuff for the kitchen. And there's a lot to it, man. So to me, could we make a few bucks doing something like that, putting together those movie packages for like $10 and then selling it for 20? It's an upsell. You might sell one while you're there, or they might buy one for the first night, but then they'll go to Blockbuster. Did I just say Blockbuster? What the hell? I blame it on the lack of caffeine from the coffee. Um, but they'll just go to the store and buy their own damn popcorn, They say, why are we gonna pay $20 each time for this guy's popcorn when we can go buy our own for $3? Um, Valid point. So our thing was, yeah, it's probably not worth it to pursue these add-ons. But all that being said, it is worth it if you're doing, let's just say you're doing a house and you know you can make a lot of money from the upsells in the house. We rent I'm sorry, we manage a boathouse, a beach lake house over there in Granbury. And I might have told the story before, but someone reached out in one of the Facebook groups and said, "Hey, I have a boat on Granbury Lake. If anybody has any Airbnbs out there and would like to partner and give us referrals, then we would appreciate it, and we'll pay referral fees." And I reached out to them immediately and said, "Hey, give me the information on your boat. When can people rent it? This and that, because I'm managing a lake house out there, and it has a boat slip. So I ended up using some of the pictures because there's like I forgot what it's called, Boat Setter or one of those websites where you can rent boats. And I just copied and pasted pictures and put them on the Airbnb page because they agreed with us. They said, okay, we'll give your guests a good deal. We'll even give you a kickback or a payment for if they do book. And so the yeah, so that's a great add-on because here's the thing too. We don't have to worry about the safety issue because we tell them, okay, we will hook you up with these people who rent out their boat. They'll deliver the boat to the boat slip, and you can use it for. They sell it's like $100 an hour, and they sell blocks of 4 hours, so that you can use it 4 hours, $400, and then they'll come pick it up after you're done with it, and it's a great perk, right? And plus, they're doing all the transactions through that boat setter site, which is kind of like Airbnb for boats, if I'm saying the right site. But and so it kind of we don't have a liability in that sense because they're renting their own boat from a different person from and using the company that comes with all the insurance, all the boat insurance you could think of. And so that's a great add-on if you could do something like that. Now the small ones, I just think they're not worth it, man. The little popcorns and cokes and whatever else you want to do. That's just me. That's just me. But maybe you could find good revenue streams doing those things. And if you do, hit me up, email me. Argis Reynolds, liveletthrive@gmail.com. Email me there. I want to see all these cool things that y'all are doing to make money on the side. Um, Speaking of money on the side, trash pickup. My buddy Mike Brown, shout out to Mike Brown. He told me about and so he was asking me, "Hey, who picks up your trash in Richardson?" I said, "Well, the guests put it outside." And he said, "When do they put it outside?" I was like, "I don't know, probably the night before." He goes, "Oh, well, my I got a letter from the city of Richardson saying that my trash can't be put out the night before. It has to be put out the morning of, like 6 a.m. or something." And he goes, he can't expect the guests to do that, right? Of course not. I'm not going to have my guests wake up at 5 or 6 a.m. to go put out the trash. But the service he was using as far as taking the trash cans to the curb and putting them back, the service he was using, they don't operate in the mornings like that. They do all this those trash, bins in the evenings before trash pickup day. So now he's stuck in a hard place and what he thinks it is, because like I said, everybody puts out their trash the night before. But what he thinks it is, it's an angry neighbor that doesn't want Airbnbs there, right? And she's calling the city code and saying that these guys are putting out trash at night, blah blah blah, and raccoons and I don't know, whatever she's telling them. And so the city sent him a letter. He needs to stop doing that. Now, like I said, it puts him in a tough spot. And trash pickup is like a man. It's a bugger. It's a bugger for sure. But so yeah, be wary. Be have your ducks in a row. Try to see what you can do. If you can't, if you get stuck in a situation like Brown, I'll give you updates on how he figured it out. But yeah, it sucks. I think that's, let me see, a thing that happened to us before, and I'm jumping around a lot. I understand. I understand. Um, Smart pricing in Airbnb. Now, I conspiracy theorist, I think that sometimes Airbnb throws the switch on that smart pricing, turns it on, without you wanting it turned on because for example, us, we used Price Labs and we use Hospitable, to control the pricing. And but smart pricing on Airbnb overrides everything. It sets the prices, man. So be sure that that's always turned off. Go check every now and then. If you're not getting a lot of bookings at a certain spot, go check and see if that smart pricing is on. If it's pricing it all funky, because how we do our pricing, we incentivize for longer stays. So someone's gonna book 2 nights at the $100 rate. If they book 3 nights, it'll be $95. If they book 4 nights, it'll be $80. So whatever the percentages are. Now with smart pricing, you can't do that. Now if they could do that in smart pricing, I would love that. But smart pricing, you can't do that. And it'll mess up all your other parameters that you have in place from Price Labs and Hospitable. So be sure smart pricing is turned off unless you're a smart pricing guru. Please hit me up. I wanna know what you're all about with the smart pricing thing. But it doesn't have all the functionality that we need at this moment. Yeah, this has been a cool little episode, a little shorty. I've been rambling for 40 minutes, baby. Uh, so I would just say, keep it on, keep picking up arbitrage. If you're gonna pick up arbitrage, go to my friend's website, lowcasa.com, LO dash casa, CASA.com, and you can pick you up a great arbitrage and it has all the projections and you can rent it furnished or unfurnished at a great price, and they're 100% short-term rental friendly properties. So go find your dream arbitrage at Low Casa. And here's a pro tip: if you've always wanted a place in Florida, for you and your family, there's homes in there on Florida homes on there with pools and everything that you can rent for a decent price that are already furnished, and there's some that ain't furnished. They come with a pool, everything. So it's like think of it as like a second house, right? You having a second house in Florida that you can use as a little vacation home and stuff. And when you ain't using it, you can rent it out. You don't have to drop $100,000 deposit to buy it, using the bank financing and all that stuff. So Locasa, LO-CASA.com. Hit them up and go find your dream arbitrage and tell Rachel I sent you, Live Let Thrive sent you, LLT, if you will. And yeah, I'm looking to pick up some properties on there. They went fast. I brought them up on one of the previous shows, a couple of Scottsdale units, houses, and they with pools, really beautiful. And those freakers went so fast. I should have never opened my mouth. But anyways, I'm opening my mouth again. There's some properties on there I want to get, but if you beat me to them, that's fine. And hey, if you get a place through Vacasa, not Vacasa, Low Casa, LO-CASA. If you get a place through there, we get Argist Rentals. My company will manage it for only 10%. That's freaking cheap. That's like half price, man. For a year. So we'll renegotiate the the percentage after that year because I gotta eat, man. I gotta feed the family, right? But 10%, and then and by the year two that you're arbitraging the place, it should have traction and everything. The profits should be double from what you started off with. So, I mean, oh my God, the reviews. The reviews are the very important thing on Airbnb. And I'll tell you real quick. We took over a property in Fort Worth from somebody who had stellar reviews, like 50, 60 reviews that are all 5 stars, and a beautiful little 2 bedroom, 2 bath apartment. And this thing, we took it over and her pricing wasn't on point. I added my little pricing strategy to it because she had like all her weekends were getting picked off and all the stuff, rookie mistakes. But I had the pricing in place where it encouraged longer stays, and we were able to fill in all these gaps between these weekends. And man, this thing was printing out money because it was still under her account while these bookings were going on. Switched the payout to us, but it was still under our account. And anyways, they once we finally got her last booking out of the way, we switched over to our account and it just fell off a cliff. We couldn't find it. We didn't get any bookings, man, for like a few weeks. We're like, what is going on? This thing was like nonstop booked. But the fact that she had it for over a year and was able to accumulate all these stellar reviews pushed her to the front page, man. And when you're not on that front page, I mean, I've discovered recently you gotta start out with low pricing, man. That's the only way I'm seeing that you're gonna be able to climb because there's so many people doing this now. So you start out with low pricing, get them bookings. I know it sucks. You might lose money the first month or break even or lose money first month, maybe even second month while you're building up this momentum. But as soon as you get them good 5-star bookings in place, it just snowballs. And then you're just on a trajectory upwards. But you got to start off with the low pricing, which is it sucks. But as my friends, my friend Warren said when I was explaining this to him when I was managing his first arbitrage, he's like, yeah, I understand what you're doing. I know how selling crack works, and it's a point to it because the crack dealers, they kind of give it away right at first. They sell it super cheap, and then they get them hooked, and then they raise the prices. But oh, wow, we talked about everything today, and we ended it on crack. That's always good. So thank you all for listening. Hit me up, liveletthrive@gmail.com. Send me an email. Say hi. What's up, Stevie Stacks? You need some management, Argest Rentals, ARGEST Rentals.com, and find your dream arbitrage in low casa. You don't have to use us for management. You can manage it yourself. I always love it when people self-manage. They learn the game, and they might learn they freaking hate it, and they'll hand it off to me after that, and that's fine too. But lo-casa, CASA.com, and find you. I mean, there's like 50 or 60 of them on there right now that are really nice, and yeah, Rachel does a great job on that site, and she'll help you, she'll hook you up, and she'll get you your dream arbitrage. You start that passive income journey, and then get Stevie Stacks to manage it for you, my company. Thank y'all so much for listening. We'll see you on the next episode. Yeah, episode 309 out later.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Live, Let, Thrive. Be sure to tune in next week for all the latest in the world of Airbnb and all that entails. Bye-bye.